What's the stupidest thing you've heard a person say aloud in public? I don't need to get vaccinated. My dad's a chiropractor. I hope he can massage the fkin measles out of your bones, you nut. A customer at a restaurant. After asking for a vegan menu and staring at it for 10 minutes asking, "Why don't you have any chicken dishes on the menu?" Semicolon. Followed up with, "What animal is a ham?" My mom has brought this up to me a few times over the years. Me. 4 years old. At the grocery store. Asked the man in front of us why he was black. He laughed and asked me why I was white. I said I don't know and he said he didn't either. That is why racism is dumb. I grew up on a cattle farm. A woman about 15 years older than me, I was 16, asked me after you cut off the meat from the cow, "How long until it grows back so you can cut more?" I wish so badly that she was F-king with me. She was not. I am an ER nurse, so I ask a lot about medical history and current meds. Me. What medical problems do you have? Patient. None. Me. Do you take any prescription or over-the-counter meds on a daily basis? Patient. Yes. My blood pressure pill and Lasix. Me. Dot. So you have high blood pressure and heart failure? Patient. No, I don't. Me. So what are the medications for? Patient. My blood pressure and heart failure. Done. I was in a briefing about sexual assault prevention, Air Force Group. The O6 asked us if a female subordinate came to you with allegations of sexual assault or harassment in the workplace, what would you do? A staff sergeant with 0 FCKS to give raised his hand and when called on said, "Sir, I gotta be honest. I wouldn't believe her." Full stop. The whole room went silent and we watched the O6 burn a hole through this guy with his eyes. The O6 then said, "That is the worst possible answer you can give me. People." Full stop. During a power cut, I lost faith in my entire family. My 8-year-old. "Dad, can I watch TV?" Me. "The power's out." My wife. "But you could use the laptop to watch Netflix until the battery goes." Me. "Darling, the power's out." Wife. "That's why he has to use the laptop." Me. "But we have no internet while the power is out." Wife. "Internet comes over cable, not the power lines." Me. "The modem that brings us internet is plugged into the wall outlet. The powerless wall outlet. Because there's no power. Because the power's out. We have no internet." Wife. "Well, try plugging it into a different wall outlet." That's when I just went upstairs. Hell yes. Bratwurst. Wait. Do bratwursts have sausage in them? I'm allergic to sausage. The moon's distance from the earth is less than 100 kilometers. When corrected. He just said, "Well, then it's probably 110 kilometers. I have posted this before, but I went to college in a small town and every Thursday they would have a mobile DMV. When I had to get my license renewed, they were having trouble with the internet. The woman in charge instructed the other woman working there to shake out all the wires because sometimes the information gets clogged up in them. My friend who was a senior in high school thought senior discounts would apply to him. It led to an incredibly awkward back and forth between a Taco Bell worker. Shortly after 9/11, my wife and I were in the UK. On the way home, the customs officer at the airport was dead serious. "Officer, are you a US citizen?" Wife. "Yes." "Officer, it says here you were born in New Mexico. So when did you become a US citizen?" Wife. "At birth." "New Mexico is in the US." "Officer, no it isn't. It's in Mexico. That's why it has Mexico in the name." During World War II history class, a girl actually thought the front line was a piece of rope held by the troops. Not me, but my dad has heard. I set out all these bird feeders and bird baths, but not one bird comes to my yard. I bet it is all those pesticides that crop duster is laying down in the field. Local school board member. As they were standing in her 5-acre yard with 20 or more cats running around. Traveling back from Berlin to the UK. I was sat next to a couple whose conversation had me wondering if I was being secretly recorded. Woman to her husband. I wish we had managed to get to the beach and the seaside in Berlin. It looks so lovely from up here. Dot. Do you think we'll go over the channel on the way home? I'd prefer to go around and travel overland all the way. Dot. Is this Snowdon we're going over now? We're descending into Manchester. Close bracket. Dot. I think this is the same cloud we went through on our way out. Co-worker at my old job while we were setting up for Black Friday. It's pretty crazy that Black Friday actually falls on a Friday this year. During my stints in hospitality. Is that the ocean? I wanted ocean view. It looks like a lake. Hope that is the Pacific Ocean, but hey, take a big drink if you're not sure. Guest called down at midnight annoyed as hell. Demanded we turn off the foghorn. While she found it nice for ambience during dinner, now at 2 AM it's annoying. Sure we can. Just don't mind the giant tanker that may or may not crash into your room. Can you hold the sunset tonight? I need good pictures for my Facebook. I'm sure. Can you hold the sunset tonight? Holy Moth FCK. Does an egg get boiled before or after it comes out of the chicken? In retaliation for 9/11 we should bomb the Taj Mahal. Birds are mammals, right? No. They're birds. I know, but they're still mammals, right? I was in line at a KFC when the guy in front of me asked, how many pieces of chicken are in a 15-piece bucket? Teenager 1. We have an exchange student in our class from Brazil. Teenager 2. Where's Brazil? Teenager 1. I don't know. I think it's a small country in Africa somewhere. She speaks Portuguese. Teenager 2. Why? Teenager 1. I don't know. I think they just like it. Him. I'm vegan but I still eat chicken and turkey. So can I get a Cuban, a sandwich with pulled pork and ham, made with turkey instead of the ham? Me. Sure. So do you want me to take the pulled pork off? Or make it with double turkey? Him. No, leave that on. Me. Visible confusion. Okay. He comes back later with his lady all mad saying he wants a new sandwich because he didn't know pulled pork was from pig and he doesn't eat pig because he's vegan. I also forgot to mention the sandwich comes with cheese. He didn't complain about that part. Was leaving the theater after having watched Fellowship of the Ring. Overheard a guy tell his friend, I don't get it. How come it ended just like that? The friend replied, Tolkien wrote the third already but he's still working on the second. Saw Avatar in the theater and as everyone was walking out, a random lady we passed said, out loud, and very seriously, I wish real life was in 3D. Semicolon. Phones don't run on electricity. They run on batteries. Sit in that condescending ugh. You green salmonellas. When her salad was served with parsley as decoration. Earth is flat because if it would be round, then it would bounce. Went on a date and was trying get to know this girl. Me. What kind of food is your favorite? Girl. I really like Australian food. Me. Haha, yeah, like throw another shrimp on the barbie, haha. Girl. No, like real Australian food like they have at the Outback. Girl genuinely thought the restaurant the Outback Steakhouse was Australian food. Since when has anyone died from getting stabbed? What are you gonna do? Stab me? Apostrophe. Stabbed man. Chickens are not animals. They shit eggs. Said a friend who was trying to explain how she can eat poultry and be vegan at the same time. Edit for the people who want to give her the benefit of the doubt. This woman is 24 years old today and I've known her for 10 years. We went to high school together. I once had to convince this woman that she is in fact 22. Not 21. She thought she was 21 and it took me and a team of 4 other people and her ID to prove to her mathematically that she is 22 years of age. Pigs don't have blood. My co-worker trying to explain his belief that pigs don't have a heart, blood, or veins, which is why they're white meat. Huh? Ivory comes from elephants. Ebony comes from rhinoceroses. Me. Ebony is a type of wood. Huh? Got. You're a dumbus. Me. Edit. Just so there is no confusion. Not my SO. You're both wrong. They both come from pianos. When I worked in Congress, I frequently gave tours of the Capitol. As I was wrapping up the tour, one of the constituents asked me to explain the difference between the Capitol and the White House. Okay, sure. Not everyone is knowledgeable about American government. I gave them a quick explanation and figured it would be sufficient. Nope. I was clearly mistaken. I then proceeded to listen to this person loudly proclaim that I was incorrect and that the White House is the same thing as the Capitol. Where are your extra medium dog sweaters? I would love to see an extra medium dog though. 2 grandmas talking in France. Well, there is definitely more wind ever since the fall of the Berlin Wall. They were dead serious. I heard that as a kid and I still laugh at it. There is a starlet in my country who's famous, I don't know, for being famous I guess. Here are some of best offs, translated. I would bulldoze down Church of Street. Donut, built in 9th century, and build an older one. Greetings to my parents. Especially mom and dad. I'd love to have more self-confidence in other people. I'm always included in mobbing. I have 5 mobile phones. She never ceases to amaze. For all those asking for a name. A redditor in the comments below mentions it. Maybe haven't heard, but the first time I purchased a coffee at a Starbucks, the barista asked me if I wanted it hot or cold. I said, "What's the difference?" She looked at me and just said, "Hot or cold?" Edit. Silver. Thank you so much, stranger. Woo. On the bus full of high school students. Shias is half Asian, half Chinese. I heard 2 girls talking about baking when one said she wanted to try baking a bread at home but she didn't know how to make the crust of the bread. She also said she was thinking about baking the crust only because she liked it more than the rest of the bread. She truly thought that the crust was made separately. Breastfeeding is unnatural. Girl in my year 11 health class. It is if your breasts aren't hungry. Heard on a crowded bus. She's half white, half black and half Chinese. I swear I could almost hear everyone within earshot collectively facepalm. Half man, half bear, half pig. Man bear pig. I got 400 days absence in a year but still passed. High school friend dropped this when we were measuring dicks on how we got away with things. Edit. We were in the metro and some white collars around us woke up from their autopilot mode and nautically laughed. Edit 2. He made it clear it was days, not hours. I've probably heard worse at some point, but I remember sitting in a Starbucks on campus and this girl was telling this guy about her trip to Italy, and at one point the guy goes, "So where do you want to go next?" And she says, "I've never been to Europe before, so hopefully that." An uppity woman to a server in a restaurant. "Do you know who I am?" Full stop. Do people realize how ridiculous they seem when they try to throw their weight around like that? "Woman, do you know WHOIM?" Voice from across the room, "A bitch." Girl. "Do fish sleep?" Me. "Of course they do." Huh? Yeah. They sleep in Finding Nemo. So they must do. Me. "That's a cartoon." Her. Defensively. "Yeah, but it's based on a true story." Question. A recent poll shows that 1/5 of Americans can't locate the US on a world map. Why do you think this is? Answer. I personally believe that Americans are unable to do so because some people out there in our nation don't have maps, and I believe that our education like such as in South Africa and the Iraq everywhere like such as, and I believe that they should our education over here and the US should help the U. Told an American couple I'm from South Africa. Oh. What part of England is that? Their knowledge of geography is just really old. You don't eat bacon because you're an atheist? Right? Edit. BTW, I never said or implied that I didn't eat bacon. And he just said it out of the blue with no conversation prior to that. Why oh. Harry Potter isn't a book. It's a movie. Does myself count? I was shopping with my spouse after our child was born. We were in the baby aisle. She picked up a bottle of baby oil, which prompted me to ask aloud, wait, baby oil is actually for babies? A woman who had been walking into the aisle laughed audibly and immediately walked away. Go to flush the system and replace the fluids every 3-5 months. Newer models don't need as much maintenance. In college I wrote a paper on one-use plastic water bottles. In the paper I suggested banning them. One girl in the class was like, well, where the hell are we going to get water from? The lake outside. LMAO. Everyone laughed at me like I was the stupid one. The normalization of one-use water bottles is one of the dumbest things that has ever happened. While driving around Mexico City. Person 1. Wow, Mexico City is huge. Me. Yeah. I think it's one of the biggest cities in the world. American girl. Nah. Texas is. My friend has said two of the stupidest things I've ever heard. We were discussing climate change solutions in class and she says, oh, can't we fill a hot air balloon with all the carbon dioxide and send it into space? Apostrophe. And regarding deforestation. Also, we just clone fully grown trees? I have a very similar one. Why don't we build a really long steel pipe to space? We can put our CO2 in it and the vacuum would suck it out. And why don't we raise satellites with long steel poles instead of spending millions on rockets? He had a thing for long steel poles. He also thought steel was infinitely strong and the only thing keeping humanity from building kms high buildings was the cost. Edit. He absolutely was not talking about space elevators. He was talking about a long pole on the ground being raised by holding it from one end and sticking a satellite to the other end. Standing at the foot of the Jesus statue in Rio de Janeiro, I heard an American ask his tourist guide, are these mountains natural or man-made? Late to the party, but this one stands out to me. At the DMV. Girl sitting behind me talking to another lady. Yeah. Her 12-month-old has to be at least, I'd say at least a year old now. My former GF, who is a F-king mathematician. Argentina is in Europe. When I asked her why did she think that, her justification was that Messi plays for Barcelona and Spain is in Europe. Another former GF was constantly afraid Italians and or Germans might invade Greece anytime like they did in the past, and took me years to persuade her to visit Italy with me, where she at last understood Italians are like us and friendly as hell. She hadn't left Greece ever before. The complete and utter lack of any geopolitical knowledge of people baffles me. I have more examples like these from more people, and I blame the education system for not making history and geography fun for the kids. A bit late to the party, but I heard a woman explain to another woman how planes don't actually fly from America to Europe. They just hang in the sky motionless while the earth moves below them. Until Europe appears and then they land. Edit. Whoa. This blew up. Also, thanks for the silver and gold. I was visiting Stanford when my friend and I saw a student and her friend walk up to an autonomous security robot and shout, oh my god. How did they fit someone in there? I don't understand why I need to be on time for work. Boss. Does drinking more water make you dehydrated? What are you talking about? Bread doesn't go bad. Oh, so my roommate getting ready to make a sandwich with a green and purple 3-month-old loaf of bread. Honestly. Family Feud is filled with such amazing examples. Dash. Q. At what month of pregnancy does a woman begin to look pregnant? A. September. Q. Name a state from the letter M. A. Mexico. Q. Name an animal with 3 letters in its name. A. I kid you not. He said. With full confidence. Alligator. Q. Name something that comes with a summer storm. A. Apparently snow. Q. Name one thing that follows the word gossip. A. A pine. Q. Name a brand of fuel. A. First guy said Ossa regular and the next guy said Asathor. Q. What does your husband do when he runs out of clean underwear? A. He takes a pair of mine, as said by wife. Q. Name a famous Aussie Willie. A. Comma Q. Name something that follows the word pork. Comma A. A pine. I don't see any problem with that. That's genius. My cousin is a good guy. But he doesn't think before he talks. One time we were at this event and the guy speaking, a white guy, gave a shout out to his son. My cousin looks at the kid and goes, "Now that kid's legit Chinese." Yes. People can adopt kids or have interracial marriages. What a concept. Needless to say, I pretended like I didn't know him for a while. Men can't be our pet because they think about sex all the time. My sex ed teacher in high school told me the same thing. It's been over a decade since then and it still terrifies me that anyone could possibly think that. Especially a sex ed teacher. My gym has just refinished the men's locker room. Came out that there would only be personal showers, not community ones. I overheard 2 gentlemen in their 60s 70s. This is all because of the millennials. What are millennials? Younger people. You know they've never been in the army or navy. Separate shower stalls so we can eat our goddamn avocados in private. Edit. Thank you for the gold and silver. Whilst on Thailand I had someone say I don't like it. There are just too many Asians here. Full stop. At the Holocaust Museum. Was taking an elevator to the top floor. It was pretty crowded in there since it was a weekend. Middle-aged man with douchey sunglasses loudly exclaims, "Is this the part where they gas us?" Full stop. Our guide, who was giving us a preface of the museum, then went totally silent. That's the stupidest thing I've heard someone say aloud in a public setting. Me. Maybe you shouldn't bite in the hand that feeds you. Friend. FCK my boss. She doesn't even let me smoke weed at work. Me.